Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to demystify the invisible framework that connects the physical world right to the digital one. I am so thrilled to walk you through this incredible technological blueprint that is quietly running our modern lives behind the scenes. Whether you're an engineering student diving into this for the very first time, or you're just kind of curious about the tech around you, we are going to break this all down in a way that makes total sense. Have you ever stopped to wonder how billions of devices like your smart thermostat, autonomous cars, or massive factory sensors, how they all manage to seamlessly exchange data at the exact same time without crashing the network? I mean, it certainly feels like magic, but it's actually just brilliant engineering. We are looking at billions of devices firing off messages constantly, and somehow everything knows exactly where to go. So what is it? Think of IoT architecture, exactly like the blueprint for a house. It provides the essential layered foundation that allows physical devices to collect, route, and process information. Without this framework, you literally just have a bunch of disconnected electronic gadgets. But with it, you have a living, breathing ecosystem. Just like a house needs a solid foundation, plumbing, and electrical wiring to function, an IoT system relies on a well-designed architecture to make sure data flows reliably from point A to point B. When you look at the comprehensive ecosystem, you can actually track how a single piece of data travels. It goes from a physical sensor buried in the dirt, through internet connectivity, all the way up to cloud applications. It's a complete journey from the dirt to the digital sphere. Imagine a moisture sensor in a farm field. It detects dry soil, pushes that signal through a local network, sends it up to the cloud for processing, and suddenly, boom, a notification pops up on a farmer's smartphone. That entire flow relies on a carefully structured ecosystem. Here is our architectural blueprint for today's Explainer. We're going to cover 1. What is IoT architecture? 2. Unpacking the IoT layers. 3. How devices communicate. 4. Cloud, edge, and 5G. 5. Real-world applications. And finally, 6. Security and future trends. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right into it. Section 1. What is IoT architecture? Let's start right at the foundation to understand what makes this whole thing tick. The real magic here is that this technology transforms passive, everyday items into active data collectors, and it does this without requiring any direct human involvement. We're taking the internet connectivity we usually reserve for our laptops and smartphones, and we're giving it to tractors, streetlights, and medical monitors. Think about it. A regular refrigerator just keeps your food cold, but an IoT-enabled refrigerator tracks expiration dates, monitors internal temperatures, and can even reorder your groceries for you. It takes a purely physical object and gives it a digital voice. Section 2. Unpacking the IoT layers. Now that we know what it is, let's unpack the specific architectural layers that make this global communication actually happen. If you follow the journey of a data point, it acts like an elegant 4-step digital relay race. First, data is collected at the perception layer. Think of this as the eyes and ears of the system, like temperature sensors or cameras. Next, the baton is passed to the network layer, which acts like a highway system, shipping that data using Wi-Fi or cellular connections. The third runner is the processing layer, where the data is analyzed and decisions are made up in the cloud. Finally, the anchor leg is the application layer, which delivers the finished product right to a dashboard on your phone. Now, some organizations prefer a 5-layer model. This takes those exact same 4 layers we just discussed and caps them off with a business layer. This addition is super important because it helps humans actually manage the services and make strategic organizational decisions based on all that data. For instance, deciding whether a factory needs to order more supplies based on sensor readings. It basically bridges the gap between raw data analytics and real-world business outcomes, ensuring the technology serves a practical, profitable purpose. For my engineering students out there, let's get a little more academic for a second. There's also a 7-level reference model that maps out the precise transformation of data from physical edge controllers at level 1 all the way up to business collaboration at level 7. It really highlights just how detailed and organized these systems must be to function. Instead of jumping straight from a sensor to an app, this model breaks down every microstep: edge computing, data accumulation, data abstraction. This level of granularity is absolutely crucial for software engineers trying to build massive, scalable systems without creating digital bottlenecks. Section 3. How IoT devices communicate. So, we've got our structural layers down, but how do these tiny, low-power devices actually ship data back and forth across the network? Well, traditional web protocols like HTTP are a lot like massive delivery trucks. They're often way too heavy and bandwidth-hungry for tiny sensors. When you're trying to send a simple temperature reading from a sensor that literally runs on a coin battery, you don't need an 18-wheeler. That's why specialized lightweight protocols like MQTT are used. They act much more like nimble delivery drones. They have incredibly low overhead, ensuring devices can operate smoothly and quickly, even under low power or severely limited bandwidth conditions. It's all about maximum efficiency. To dive a bit deeper into that, the MQTT publish-subscribe model acts exactly like a highly efficient post office. A central broker sorts and delivers specific sensor data only to the applications that explicitly subscribe to it. This dramatically cuts down on unnecessary network traffic. Think of it like subscribing to a magazine. The publisher doesn't send the magazine to every single house on the street. They only send it to the people who asked for it. This selective distribution means an IoT network doesn't get clogged up with irrelevant data, allowing the whole system to scale massively. Section 4, Cloud, Edge, and 5G. Once the data is moving smoothly through these protocols, where does it actually go to be processed and analyzed? Instead of shipping every single piece of data to a distant cloud server, we have something called edge computing. This filters and processes information right there at the physical source. Think of it like having a manager right on the factory floor making instant decisions, rather than having to call the CEO at headquarters for every minor issue. By acting on the data locally, it eliminates bandwidth bottlenecks and drastically speeds up response times. For critical systems, like a robotic arm on an assembly line detecting a jam, waiting even a fraction of a second for a cloud server to respond is simply way too long. Now, when we introduce modern 5G networks, the game changes entirely. Combining edge computing with 5G technologies like ultra-reliable low latency and massive machine-type communications unlocks the ability to process data instantly. We are talking about critical, time-sensitive applications here, like autonomous vehicles navigating busy city streets or remote surgical robots where near-zero latency is quite literally a matter of life and death. 5G even allows us to slice the network, dedicating specific lanes of traffic solely for these high-priority devices. Section 5. Real-world IoT applications. Let's step out of the underlying architecture for a moment and see how this blueprint actually impacts the real world around us. Honestly, the impact is absolutely everywhere. For precision agriculture, soil sensors and drones monitor crop health and automate smart irrigation systems that are perfectly tailored to the weather. In smart homes, interconnected thermostats and lights optimize energy usage, learning your daily routines to save you money. And on a massive scale, smart cities rely on this architecture to manage traffic grids in real time, adjust street lighting, and even deploy smart waste management systems. It's quietly running our modern world behind the scenes, providing unprecedented levels of automation across every single industry. Section 6, Security and Future Trends. With so much sensitive data flowing all across the globe, how on earth do we secure this massive ecosystem for the future? To understand the scale of what we are dealing with, get this. Experts project that by the year 2034, there will be an incredible 40.6 billion active connected devices worldwide. That is roughly 5 smart devices for every single human being on the planet, continuously collecting, processing, and transmitting data around the clock. The sheer volume of this expansion is breathtaking, but it also paints a very, very large target for vulnerabilities. This staggering scale brings some serious challenges. We are primarily looking at escalating cybersecurity threats, because every single new device is a potential entry point for hackers. On top of that, we face hardware fragmentation, where devices from different manufacturers refuse to talk to each other, locked inside their own corporate walled gardens. And then there's the sheer analytical paralysis of handling an estimated 175 zettabytes of data. Finding actionable insights in that massive ocean of noise is for sure one of the biggest hurdles engineers face today. So how do we handle this immense data overload? The future points toward embedded AIoT. This means migrating artificial intelligence directly into the sensors themselves. This allows independent agentic sensors to essentially think for themselves and make autonomous decisions without waiting for remote instructions from the cloud. Imagine a smart camera that doesn't just record video, but actively understands what it's seeing, instantly recognizing a safety hazard and shutting down a machine locally. That creates a much more resilient, intelligent network. But here's the catch. Building this massive physical network is creating a severe environmental debt. Global e-waste is actually on track to hit an astonishing 82 million tons by 2030. Every sensor, every battery, every microcontroller eventually reaches the end of its life cycle. This presents a massive physical cost for all our digital convenience, forcing the entire industry to completely rethink how we build, recycle, and power the next generation of smart devices. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. As you begin understanding and perhaps one day building these incredible architectures, how will you innovate to solve this massive e-waste footprint before it overwhelms us? We have the blueprints to connect the world. Now we desperately need the blueprints to sustain it. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Explainer, and keep learning.